I think what Americans need to know about this debate is that our Republican colleagues are telling us the only way we can move forward is for more tax breaks at the top, and that the needs of those who are most vulnerable in our society can be better handled by the states and by Main Street. And we have in this motion a program that has given the states additional resources, that was signed into law by President Reagan, that has had bipartisan support up until this month. And now they say there are problems with the program. They want more effectiveness. They want better measurements. They think the states ought to be having some skin in the game by putting in matching funds. They suggest other improvements that might be made with reference to other federal programs. Those may all be very good ideas. As I said at the outset, I think sometimes these block grant programs are blockheaded. That's the way I feel about the block granting of Medicaid that is being proposed in the same resolution. But the typical situation here, if you find a problem in government, the Republican answer, when they say reform, they mean repeal. And that's what they propose today. They're not looking to improve this social services block grant. They're not looking to get more accountability or better measurements or more effectiveness. They have a real simple answer to the bipartisan program that began with President Reagan. Eliminate it, cut it out, terminate it. That's what they do in today's resolution. And the suggestion is, well, we could rely on private entities to take care of some of these problems. Let me read to you what Catholic Charities told this committee. They say, and I quote, "Every day, thousands of individuals who are disabled children, preschoolers, homeless, elderly, are at risk of being abused or receiving services because of social services block grant funding. We reject," and the we is not me, it's Catholic Charities, "we reject the notion that those most vulnerable among us should feel the greatest impact of future reductions." And I think we should reject that. Catholic Charities, private contributors, they do some great work, but they need this to be able to accomplish their purpose. The suggestion was that, well, we need to tighten the eligibility requirements. They've gotten out of control. I can tell you, if a child comes in as the victim of abuse, and we have seen too much child abuse across our state, and we've heard a lot about it in our country, we don't need to ask how much their parents make. We need to reach out and care for that abused child and try to help them get their life back together. That's some of the work that this social services block grant does in state after state that ought to be supported. The suggestion is that, well, you know, we're just going to overtax people to pay for these vital services for the vulnerable. The effective tax rate for Exxon from 2008 to 2010 was 17.6%. We're not talking about whatever might have been in the statute. The statute's just there to give their lawyers a way to find a way around it, and they've done a very good job of doing it. They don't pay the rate of an independent service station. They pay special rates, and I can tell you from the price I've had to pay for at the gas pump, all these tax incentives sure haven't kept gas prices reasonable up to now. The suggestion is that, well, we need to, some of these folks need to have more skin in the game. I know they intended a little different reference there, but I can tell you that Donald and Jenny and Mary, they got skin in this game. Their lives are at stake in this game. The Meals on Wheels program says they will be devastated if these cuts are made. It is a choice, but I think this whole bill is misnamed. It's upside down too. It's not reconciliation, it is wreckconciliation, because it will wreck one life after another, whether it's preventive health care or whether it's Jenny and the food she relies on through the Meals on Wheels program. I think we should reject the wreck and adopt the motion. I yield back.
Gentleman yields back the balance of his time.